Okay, it was sunny this morning. This is Wyoming. What a weird world. Look at that. It's snowing. There was sunshine this morning. It was warm. What is this? It's the apocalypse. Apparently, I'm going to take this as an opportunity. Here's the deal. Our destiny as a planet, mankind is on a spaceship made of Earth, right? You've heard of the Earthship movement? That's pretty cool. You should look into it. This is so much more than that. What our world is a seed in a universe of data, okay? If you're on a computer and you get a new computer, what's your hard drive like? It's empty, isn't it? You've got 2 or 3 terabytes of empty space to fill up. And what's not empty? Your operating system. That's it. Your computer comes with an operating system, and the intention of that operating system is to fulfill the rest of the space. Now, I'm not God. I don't know what he's up to. I know there are certain things which theologically align to God's will, and certain things which don't. So what I'm about to say, from what I understand of Scripture, theologically aligns with God's will. I may be wrong. I've been meaning to say this since yesterday, so here I am. God made the earth as a seed in a universe of memory, a seed of data in a universe of memory, okay? The earth will bloom like a redwood seed, which is tiny and becomes a massive 400-foot tall tree. The universe is the soil. The earth has been planted into that soil. Now, our original intention as mankind, I think, was for us to garden the earth to such an extent that it became overflowing, so that we could then extend out to the moon and garden that stellar body until it overflows, and then go out to Mars and all the other many, many planetary bodies that exist in our solar system, our galaxy, and other galaxies, until exponentially mankind expanded throughout the universe, much how an empty garden becomes full of green life in the fullness of time. I think this is God's original design for mankind, because the simulation of the reality in which we inhabit is definitely inferior to that in which God inhabits. So what does that mean? Well, that means for us to truly be on the same plane of existence as God, we have to expand beyond our limitations, like a seed has to sprout. So if you look at a plant as a multidimensional creature, the plant starts as a seed, it becomes a seedling, it becomes a full plant, the plant gives fruit, it gives fruit for many seasons, and then in the twilight years, it becomes fodder for something else. Well, our existence in terms of spirituality on this earth is kindergarten, death is the first grade. Our life is a seed, and in a metaphysical, metacosmic sense, the entirety of humanity is in a preemptive stage that ripens until a shoot comes out of the seed of humanity, which will be the eternal tree. Now, I think the Mormons got it wrong, because the Mormons believe that God is within the universe that we inhabit, all right? That Elohim is out there on his own planet, and that if we do things right, because we were created by Elohim, we get our own planet and get to nail women and make spirit babies for all eternity and do the same thing Elohim did. Well, they've inverted it, because they don't look at the present reality in which we inhabit as inferior to God himself, as totally created. They look at God as bound by the strictures of time. But time itself is inferior to the reality where God exists. Scripture proves this as it's transtemporal. Scripture predicted Israel would be back in the land speaking her native tongue before Christ. Okay? Now, what sense does that make when they're already there? Okay? It predicts a diaspora and it predicts a return. And in the 1800s and 1700s and 1600s, Christian theologians thought that this was metaphorical, that Israel couldn't possibly actually come back to the land which was then called Palestine. The Romans named it that. Palestine is the Latinization of the term Philistine, so there has never been a Palestine. It's always been Israel, renamed Palestine by the Romans as an insult to the Jews. But theologians like in Martin Luther's day and around the time the King James Bible was written always assumed that the idea of Israel returning to their homeland was metaphorical, that it was a metaphor for heaven. That's not what God meant. God meant literally Israel, the nation of Israel, would return to her homeland and speak her native language. And it also says in Scripture that a third temple will be established and there will be sacrificing in the temple again. That hasn't happened yet. It will. This will happen before a millennial reign, wherein Christ comes back and reigns on the earth for 1,000 years. Now, I am not God, but it says in Scripture, a day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as a day with God. So what does that mean to you as a YouTube viewer? Well, it could mean a lot of things, but I don't believe in the evolutionary postulate because mankind is less intelligent now than many of our ancestors were. You can look at Ancient Aliens and all that History Channel bullshittery and see some technological advancements in ancient society that we definitely do not have today. So, how have we lost that if we're so much more advanced than our peers in the past, than our ancestors is what I meant to say rather than peers? Well, the truth of the matter is you don't have to be smart to run a smartphone. You don't have to be a mechanic to drive a car, okay? We're not that bright just because we have technology. We think we are. That's arrogant. We're really not. I think there is a different state of affairs coming soon. God bless you.